Hi Diana, let's have a look at your essays now. First, we're going to have a look at your task 1 answer and then at the essay. So the pie chart about the subjects in Germany, right? Let's have a look. You have a good introductory sentence. The pie chart depicts the proportions of 7 subjects and their popularity in German schools in the year 2017. Okay, you don't really need to make it that long. You may merely say in 2017 because you know word count and you really need to keep up with the requirements of the word count. Next, overall, it's clear that PE, history, mathematics, and physics are by far the most popular subjects, while biology, geography, and IT made up the least favorite areas. Is it geographic? No, it's geography, you see. So make sure that you spell the names of the subjects correctly and that you pay attention to details because sometimes something unfortunate like this may happen. You see that you have the right spelling on the visual, but you, for some reason, lack of attention or tiredness, you make this mistake. Okay, also, there is no need to capitalize subjects actually. It is not a huge error, but still, there is no need. Okay. Nice wording, nice use of linking words, very good use of comparative structures, by far the most popular subjects, very good rephrase, made up the least favorite areas, very nice. In 2017, the majority of pupils in Germany favored PE with this much percent. Um, um, I might say at, comma, followed by history, whose popularity, not this whose. This whose is who is. You need the whose, which is WHOSE as one word. Decreased only by 0.5% to this much percent compared to PE. Okay. Both subjects almost made up half of the total subject popularity. Okay, this sentence is a bit ambiguous. So both subjects made up half of the were actually half in comparison to the entire popularity of all the subjects, right? You might want to be a bit clearer in the sentence. A slightly tinier share, very nice wording, accounted to mathematics and physics with this many percent and this many percent respectively. Okay. I would use the symbol of percent because again, this is 2 words and you are using extra 2 words every time, here, here, and here. So if you intend to write more, using this word is actually subtract from your word count again. Okay, very nice highlights. Very good use of vocabulary, quite clear most of the time, except the sentence that I told you. In contrast, just under a quarter of all subjects consisted of biology, geography, and IT. This is a bit weird. This sounds a bit off. Um, a, Under a quarter of all subjects consisted of biology, geography, and IT. You can say that biology and geography and IT, biology, geography, and IT. Okay. You can say the popularity of biology, geography, and IT represented under a quarter out of the total share of favored subjects, something like this. But if you put it this way, you are actually saying something else. You are saying that only 3 subjects were less than all the subjects. So it's not about the subjects themselves, it's about the popularity of these subjects and the share of the popularity. The former 2 subjects, you may even say the former 2. Very nice use of the former, yes, and of the latter. Great use of reference words. Were alike in popularity, I wouldn't say alike. Alike is more about the features. If you say you refer to the quantity or amount of popularity, you can say the former two share the same amount of popularity at approximately this much, whereas the latter was considerably the least popular. If you say the least popular, you don't say considerably, because considerably is somehow comparative, while the least popular is superlative. It's absolutely the least popular, just under 4% of students. Okay, good highlights. I would say you would do even better with one conclusion sentence. I really like the way you use vocabulary. There are a couple of lines that you need to fix to make them sound better, to make them sound clearer and more coherent. But other than that, great vocabulary, very good grammatical structures, great range of both vocabulary and grammar, and absolutely awesome answer in terms of task achievement. So yes, way to go. And don't forget, the conclusion sentence is not required, but it's a good idea to have it. Now let's have a look at the essay. So this is the wedding essay. Many people spend a lot of money on weddings. Do the benefits of this outweigh the disadvantages or not? How many paragraphs? 1, 2, 3, 4, as usual. Yes, perfect. Whether spending a lot of money on a wedding is a problem of opportunity for a superior beginning of a couple's life is a sensitive issue that needs to be analyzed in a careful manner. In this essay, I will state why I believe the advantages outperform the drawbacks. Okay, this is a very nice start. Very nice start. You choose to introduce the whole thing in one long sentence. Complex syntax, complex sentence structure is laudable, and it has to be alternated with shorter sentences. But sometimes very long sentences create confusion. This is what stopped me. And I'm kind of confused by this whether. You know, if you start a sentence with whether, you actually introduce an alternative. For example, whether spending a lot of money on a wedding is worth it or not needs to be analyzed in a careful manner. You see, whether doing this or not needs to be analyzed in a careful manner. So that's why you might want to get rid of this whether and go on kind of like this. Spending a lot of money on a wedding is a problem of opportunity for, I wouldn't say superior, I would say for an inspiring maybe. You need a positive adjective here, but superior doesn't collocate with beginning and beginning of a couple's life. So spending a lot of money on a wedding is a problem or opportunity. Oh, wait a second, you had the or. Whether spending a lot of money on a wedding is a problem or opportunity for a superior, okay, for an inspiring beginning of a couple's life is a sensitive issue that needs to be analyzed in a careful manner. Anyway, you see, I have to reread it again and again to decide whether this whether is fine here or not. Sometimes a sentence structure which is too cumbersome is not the best idea. You can do it like, let's try doing it like this. Spending a lot of money on a wedding can be seen either as a problem or an opportunity for an inspiring beginning of a couple's life. Period. This is a sensitive issue that needs to be analyzed in a careful manner. Period. In this essay, I will state why I believe the advantages outperform the drawbacks. Not outperform. You're trying to paraphrase outweigh. Outperform is mostly for a competition, for employees at work, but advantages and drawbacks, not really. Why I believe there are more advantages than drawbacks. Don't try to simply place a random synonym. Not all synonyms are created equal. and you really have to look them up in the dictionary when you prepare. So yes, this is my suggestion for the introduction. But yes, I do like the way you are thinking in a very complex, in a very sophisticated way. I love the way you use vocabulary. There's ample evidence why the bride and groom decide to raise expenditures for their special day considerably. This considerably needs to be moved. There's ample evidence why the bride and groom decide to considerably raise expenditures for the special day. This is largely because two people getting married are widely expected by society to be the perfect day of life. No, 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 no. Two people are expected to be the perfect day of life. Two people cannot be a perfect day. Maybe to have or to organize or to start their marriage on the most perfect day of their life. But be careful, do not place the symbol of equality between people and days, okay? This needs to be rewritten. Hence, extreme expenses are accepted. I wouldn't say they're accepted, they are chosen, or people go in for extreme expenses. For example, recent consumer studies have shown that 85% of couples are willing to pay a tremendous amount of money for superior food, clothes, and accessories. Superior is good here, to achieve desired expectations for the marriage ceremony. Okay. To achieve desired expectations, desired by whom? By the public, by the guests, or by the couple? I'm kind of confused about this desired. Furthermore, an additional reason for costly weddings is that all family members and friends should be part of the glamorous day, which means the more invitations are sent, the higher are the costs. This sentence, this clause, kind of means that the costs are actually caused by the invitations themselves. It's not about the invitations, it's about the catering for this many people and all that. So careful, because your sentence probably says something that you don't mean to say, right? Okay. I would say here an additional reason for costly weddings lies in the fact that all family members, because you cannot say an additional reason is that. Consequently, expensive weddings are in favor of the couple. Okay. 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 On the other hand, there are finance and health problems which can negatively impact the couple who just started a new chapter of life. Finance and health problems? Do you mean that these high expenses may result in health problems? Because this again says something else. You really have to be a bit clearer, because if I have to stop and think and make assumptions, this is not playing in your favor at the exam, right? So this means that you're losing points in coherence. I'm not quite, I can't follow through your idea perfectly. I have to think, stop, reread, and think again. This means coherence issues. We really have to work on that. So probably you could say, on the other hand, these finance, let's say, difficulties may result in health problems, which at their turn can negatively impact the couple who just started a new chapter of life. Very, very nice use of idiomatic expression. Very nice. This is due to the fact that there will be debts debts do you mean debts? Debts as debts with a b, probably, I don't know. Debt as owing money, then you need a b instead of this b. From overspending, leading to stress followed by mental health issues for the newly married couple. Yes, this is exactly what I meant. So this topic sentence, this first sentence, doesn't say, doesn't announce that you'll be telling and explaining how money problems lead to mental health problems. And again, you have to use cause-effect cohesive devices that will explain the connection between the deaths and mental health issues clearer. Something like this is due to the fact that overspending will lead to debt, which again will lead to more stress, which will lead to stress, which will end in mental health issues for the newly married couple. So you really have to build a gradual, emphatic progression. For instance, IMF studies, IMF International Monetary Fund. I guess you mean this. If you do mean this, you have to spell it out. I recognize this acronym, but what if someone doesn't? And people don't really have to sit and recognize acronyms. Please make sure that you spell out your acronyms. Stated that you really need this that people who lacked financial resources to cover all invoices would accept a wedding loan also if that brought the possibility of developing anxiety or depression due to the added financial stress. I'm not sure what you mean here. People who lacked financial resources to cover all invoices. What invoices? Which ones? Because this is very general and very ambiguous. Would accept a wedding loan. Also, this sentence is confusing, completely confusing. I'm really sorry to say that, but it is, because it says that people who don't have money, so I'm kind of translating this into simple English. So people who don't have money to pay for their debts will accept a loan, also on condition that they develop depression. This is illogical. You probably mean that people who don't have money and take a wedding loan may end up suffering from anxiety or depression. This needs to be rewritten because this is completely confusing and misleading. This is a great sentence in terms of vocabulary, but sentence structure and grammatical accuracy and word order somehow make it completely unintelligible. I'm just trying to guess and deduce. Therefore, it can be said that high wedding costs also bring disadvantages. Yes, absolutely. Very nice concluding sentence. Yes. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, comma, I believe the benefits of costly weddings outweigh the drawbacks. It is predicted that people will always think of weddings as glamorous, expensive events. Careful with this sentence, it is predicted. It is predicted by what? By the facts that you have here. By whom? You can say that no matter how expensive, or stressful weddings may get, we may predict that people will still think of weddings as glamorous, lavish, worthy events. So this is very categorical, very categorical. So what do we have? So you have this paragraph about the advantages, and you have the paragraph about disadvantages. However, they are kind of equal. I can't feel that there are more advantages than disadvantages because the paragraph on disadvantages is so I don't know, disturbing in terms of the argument. I mean, mental health is a very strong argument, and then you say, oh, well, actually, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Then there's a problem with coherence in this paragraph about disadvantages and some coherence issues in the first body paragraph about advantages. You do have great vocabulary command. You do most of the times. You have great grammar range. You are able to use great grammatical structures, but you really have to make sure that your language use, as I showed you in the second body paragraph doesn't get in the way of comprehension. So make sure that you fix this and try rewriting this essay and fixing everything I told you. To answer your question, how many words are okay? 250 words up to 300 words are okay. Yes, the C2 template is wordy. I know that. So don't try to rely on it too heavily. Try to use a couple of very useful expressions, but don't try to remember it by heart. It won't work. It won't work with any argumentation because your structures take up more space, more word limit than your argument. So try to reduce the C2 template for yourself. How do you count? Do you count your words? Yes and no. It depends. If you're used to a certain volume, let's say, let me count how many words there are here. Here we have 298 words Microsoft Word is telling me. So this is a very nice size for an essay. So it's up to 300. If you write more than 300, you will be penalized. However, if you write less than 250, you will be penalized as well. So how do you count your words? You either get used to a certain length in like visually. For example, I know that in handwriting or in typing, I need to write, let's say, my introduction needs to be 3 lines, body paragraphs need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 lines if you type, right, in a certain size. If I write by hand, that's the same. In my handwriting, I need to write, let's say, 2 pages like this big. But the best way is doing it like this. You count the number of full lines. For example, 1, 2. The third line here and the last line here would count as 1 line. So you count the number of full lines. Let's say there will be 18, and then you count the number of words. And words are 1, 2. A is 1 word. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is an average line, right? You don't choose the shortest line. You choose an average line. You multiply your average line by the number of your complete lines, and then you get an approximate word limit. This is what you should do at the exam. This is what I advise everyone to do at the exam, and it works. It works. That's the fastest way. Do not count every single word by hand in every single paragraph. This takes away from your time terribly. Really hope I answered your questions, and please keep up the great work and make the necessary changes in your writing. Thank you and good luck.